Nick Aldis hasn't said a word since Gunther attacked him, and that silence might be the biggest mistake Gunther has made yet. Because if WWE is telling the story the way it usually does, the general manager isn't finished, he's just getting started. Welcome back to WWE Arena. I'm Nino. Everyone has been talking about Gunther choking out Nick Aldis, but almost nobody is asking the question that actually matters. What happens next? How does a general manager respond after being humiliated by one of the most dominant wrestlers in WWE? More importantly, could WWE be setting up something we've never seen before? Let's start with who Nick Aldis really is. Most fans know him as SmackDown's general manager, the man responsible for keeping order while managing one of WWE's most unpredictable rosters. Calm, professional, always wearing a suit. But that suit hides something many fans either forgot or never knew. Before becoming WWE's authority figure, Aldis was one of the most accomplished champions outside WWE. He held the NWA World Heavyweight Championship for over 1,000 days, competed around the world, and built a reputation as one of wrestling's smartest competitors. Even after stepping into management, reports and interviews have consistently suggested he never stopped training. That's why Gunther's attack meant more than simply embarrassing a general manager. When Gunther called Aldis a failed wrestler before putting him to sleep, he wasn't just insulting management. He challenged the identity of a former world champion. That changes everything. Now let's look at what actually happened. After Night of Champions, Gunther confronted Aldis backstage following his championship loss. Tensions boiled over, and WWE reportedly sent both men home while Aldis was temporarily placed on administrative leave. When Aldis returned, he immediately reminded everyone that he still controlled SmackDown. Instead of avoiding Gunther, he booked him into another major match, making it clear he wasn't intimidated. Gunther responded the only way he knows how, with violence. He attacked Aldis again, locking in another sleeper hold while officials struggled to separate them. Moments later, Cody Rhodes rushed out looking for a fight, but Gunther walked away without accepting. That decision is interesting. Gunther usually welcomes competition, yet this time he ignored one of WWE's biggest stars. That suggests his attention may already be fixed somewhere else. Here's where things become even more interesting. Following Night of Champions, Big E mentioned that Nick Aldis has remained in outstanding physical condition and is still capable of competing. Around the same time, reports from wrestling insiders suggested WWE has internally discussed the possibility of Aldis returning to the ring. Nothing has been officially announced, but WWE rarely plants ideas like this without a reason. If Aldis eventually laces up his boots again, Gunther's attack suddenly becomes the beginning of a much bigger story rather than a random assault on authority. Some fans argue that putting Aldis back in the ring would weaken his credibility as general manager. I actually see the opposite. Gunther believes Aldis hides behind his authority because he can't beat anyone anymore. Every suspension, fine, or official punishment only reinforces that belief. But stepping into the ring? That would force Gunther to confront Aldis on equal ground. And that's something Gunther may not be expecting. There's another detail that shouldn't be ignored. Since the attack, Aldis hasn't cut emotional promos or demanded revenge. He's remained almost completely silent. In wrestling, silence can be more dangerous than shouting. The loudest threats are often the ones that never get spoken. So where does this lead? I see three realistic possibilities. The first is that Aldis uses his authority to officially book himself against Gunther at SummerSlam, turning this personal rivalry into his WWE in-ring return. The second is even more dramatic. Aldis steps away as general manager entirely, choosing to fight Gunther as a competitor rather than an executive. And finally, WWE could surprise everyone by having Aldis not only return, but actually defeat Gunther, proving he was never just the man behind the desk. Right now, all three outcomes remain possible. But one thing feels certain. Gunther may think he ended this rivalry the moment he put Aldis to sleep. Instead, he may have created the biggest challenge of his WWE career. So, what do you think? Will Nick Aldis eventually step back into the ring to face Gunther? And if that match happens, can he actually beat the Ring General? Let me know your predictions in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, leave a like, subscribe to WWE Arena, and join us for more in-depth WWE analysis every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.